This life's tough, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm hitting the record button now. So
Okay.
I got a question. I don't remember if we've talked since the last time I I did my music updates. Have I told you about my thoughts on Prince?
No, but I'm intrigued.
Okay. All right. So since the last time we did like podcasting like properly, I got Prince's like a greatest hits album from Prince. I think we talked about the Temptations and Marvin Gaye. Did we talk about that?
We did, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then since then I got Prince and what I have what I have discovered with this Prince album is Prince is a Prince is the his modern equivalent would be The Weeknd if The Weeknd was a feminist.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like
Is the weekend not a feminist?
the way that dude talks about women, I absolutely don't see it.
Yeah,
The
I
way
get it.
his like this is it's kind of an insult just because of who I am and what I believe, but like just the way he talks about women, I'm like, this dude has some issues that he needs to go to therapy about.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to diagnose anybody, but like,
I get it. I
broski,
get it.
take a
So
step back.
my thoughts on Prince. I didn't get into Prince until kind of later in life, and I kind of attribute that to my buddy Trent.
Mhm.
Trent's a big Prince fan. I believe that Prince's ability and his skill set and just like how he performs and all that, somehow he's both one of the greatest of all time and also underrated at the same time.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
totally with you.
I I think that Michael Jackson probably got a lot more credit for the things, especially in the pop scene like that. Because I mean, Prince is a lot of things. Prince is pop, Prince is rock, Prince is funk, Prince is a lot of things. But I think Michael Jackson got a lot of probably maybe maybe too much. Well, I don't know about too much credit. I have feelings about Michael Jackson. A lot of people do, but I think Prince like far exceeds Michael Jackson. Kind of going back to my nerdiness, like I love that they like, with the Batman soundtrack.
Hmm.
I love that they asked him to do a song for Batman, and he's just like, "No, nah, I'm gonna make a whole album."
Yeah,
And like that movie is better because of it.
yeah,
Like that movie is it's like it's like a Prince fever dream with starring Michael Keaton.
yes,
I love that, and I love that you're getting into Prince. So
yeah. Like so, like listening to that album, and like I do when I'm listening to albums, which has kind of been too cold, and I need to just like balls up and go outside and start walking again so I can listen to some more albums because I've got a backlog at this point. But like
yeah,
I literally I put on the album when I start walking and I walk all the way through the entire album. And then if I'm not done walking by the time it's over, I'll just like start another lap and keep going. So I listen to the whole album straight through. Like no breaks, no stops. I listen to the whole thing.
yeah,
And when you're walking and listening and doing it that way, it's like because this is a greatest hits album, and I'm not 100% sure all of the songs flow in like album order. Obviously, they probably don't, but like you can kind of feel like as the kind of decade changes between the 80s and the 90s between the albums, and you can actually hear it. Like that sounds weird to say, but like you can hear like just the kind of the the way like the instruments, kind of the melodies a little different, like between those two eras, and you can feel it, and like that. I'm like the fact that Prince put out so many albums that are so like genre bending and pushing that like you can literally hear when it goes from the 80s to the 90s. I'm like, this guy, like he definitely had a way with music. Like he definitely, it was just, I was like, I could hear it. Like I keep saying that, but like I can hear on the album when I'm like, oh, now we're in the 90s.
Yeah. He, yeah, he's got so many different albums, and I, it'd be hard to contain it to like an essential album. I don't know, like how many tracks are on that thing?
God, I'll have to pull up on my phone. Give me a sec.
Oh, you're good. Gosh.
But it was great. And like it's one of those things where like when you listen to it, you like, oh yeah, I absolutely understand why people were falling all over themselves. And it brings up a funny story that I don't even know if my mom will remember. 17 tracks. Starts with
Okay.
I want to be your lover and ends with money don't matter tonight.
Okay.
But I remember I was probably 12 or 13. The one time Prince ever did a show that like I knew about, Prince was at, I don't know. Now it's like Ruhoff Stadium or whatever.
Uh,
It
it'll
used to
always be Deer
it
Creek.
used to be Deer Creek, but now it's Ruoff or whatever it's called now. And like
That's an arm.
Prince was there, and I remember my mom losing her mind going to that show. She was like, "Oh no, I'm going. I don't care what I have to do. I don't know. I don't care what if I had to take off work, whatever. I am going." And I'm like, I like at that time, like I wasn't super big into music in general, so like my mind is completely blown. I have never like my mom that wasn't losing her mind in that way when she almost missed her flight to Israel.
Yeah.
But like to go to see, she was like, "Nah, I'm going." Like she's talking about it the entire week, like like nonstop. Like it was all she was talking about for a week straight, and I was like, I knew who Prince was at the time, but like my brain didn't understand like how like why anyone would be this like freaking out about going to a concert. And then like now I'm like, nah, I get it. Nah, if
Yeah.
that was part of my history, and then in 2000, I don't know, like 2010, Prince was going to a show. Prince was going to be in like 30 miles away. Like, yeah, I'd probably have lost my mind making sure I got there too.
Yeah. I I I consider myself a Prince fan now. Like I got to be in the mood for it, but man, like I don't think anybody. I don't think we really appreciated Prince while we had him.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
you know, this I he was definitely appreciated. He had, a big following, and, just he had a lot of fans and all that stuff. But man, just one of those just underappreciated. And that's really weird for somebody to say, I guess. But just I don't think anybody really, kind of like when David Bowie died,
Hmm.
like you don't really realize like what sort of an impact they had until they're gone. And I think Prince is kind of the same thing. So
Yeah. I,
what?
I'm completely in agreement with you. Like, and like, I understand what you're saying because like there Prince had a huge audience. Tons of people loved Prince, and like the people who like Prince are like absolute diehard Prince fans, like
Yeah.
crazy. But like there, I feel like
Well, people made fun of him, like like when he changed to
oh
the
yeah,
symbol.
which
Then he was the artist, and
which
you
is the
know,
most badass thing. Like that, like I'm about to go on a little bit of a lefty rant here, so just bear with me for a second. But like that is like the most like corporate propaganda I ever feel like that's one of the big ones because like the reason he did that was because a label was screwing him out of his money, so he changed his name so that he could write music under a different name and get his money. Like
yeah,
and that label is the one who started this whole like, oh, what a weirdo! He changed his name to his like he was trying to get his money. Like,
Right. It's the 2025 equivalent would be Taylor Swift, and she just did this like within the last probably 5 years or so. But she re-recorded all of her music. She did the same. Well, she didn't change her name, but she bought all of her catalog back, and then she re-recorded it so she wouldn't have to give royalties to the corporate overlords.
yeah,
Like just yeah, Prince did it first though.
yeah, exactly. And like, I remember that. I remember like TV shows and like stuff. They would make jokes about it, about how like, oh, he changed his name and blah blah blah. And like now I'm like, yeah, because he wanted his money. Like they were taking millions of dollars from him. Yeah, I would do whatever it takes to get my money. What are you talking?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Like,
So sidebar to the audience. This is I do have my baby with me.
yeah,
So if you hear me say something kind of random or out of pocket, like ooh, this is a nice rattly cow. It's because I have a baby with me. So
yeah,
this is the dad part of the Game Dad podcast. We do what we can when we can. How we
exactly.
can.
So
Dad's gonna dad.
now that we've gone on a 12-minute rant about Prince, welcome to the Game Dads podcast, where we talk about games and anything but games. I am
Hey, Prince is the daddy.
okay. I mean,
Prince is a different kind of daddy.
I mean, I don't know if I ever want to be the type of daddy that you're referring to. A lot of people who, but yeah, I'm your one of your co-hosts, Aaron, and this is my fellow co-host Brett. Please
That's me.
follow us and hit like and all of the things that you do to the internet stuff. But that's mostly my Prince rant. But like, I also got Earth, Wind, and Fire greatest hits. I got
Oh, dude.
who else? Is it? I think I also got Stevie Wonder greatest hits and Paramore's first album. I've listened to the
Paramore?
yeah,
Interesting.
dude. Haley
That's
Williams.
just
Haley Williams is like she's like one of my favorite artists who exists right now.
yeah. I just respect. I like Paramore, but you're like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and Paramore.
I this thing.
But I mean, that's
I'm gonna
no
say
different
this.
than what I was going to say. But
This trip that I'm on, this music journey that I'm on, is all over the place. Like I have.
I've been, I've been listening to Smash Mouth lately, so I have no room to talk.
So I listened to a little bit of the Earth, Wind, and Fire album, but like I haven't gotten to do my classic walk and listen. And like the only thing I've pulled so far from it is like this is a specific genre that like only specific people will get, and I don't know if you're going to be included in the specificness of this, but I'm going to explain anyways. I never noticed how often in the background of some random super black movie there is an Earth, Wind, and Fire song that I just didn't know was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, I'm listening to this album and I'm like, almost every track that I heard that's on that album is played in the background of some movie that I watched and I just didn't know it was Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, I was like, I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I know this song. And then my brain is just floating back to like Barbershop and Barbershop 2 and Barbershop 3 Top Cut or whatever. Like, it's just all the like random black movies that I've seen over the years. And I'm like, all of those songs are Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, all of them. Like, I didn't know that, but like the background to all of those movies are just Earth, Wind, and Fire songs.
What was that Jamie Foxx movie? It was Booty something.
Booty Call.
Booty Call. Why couldn't I think of Booty Call? Do you, think, do you think Earth, Wind, and Fire is in that movie?
100%. 100%. Without question. Without question,
That movie's funny.
There's an Earth, Wind, and Fire song in there somewhere. Without question. Like,
I watched Booty Call at your house.
absolutely you did. Which probably at the age that we were watching was probably not appropriate for us to be watching.
100%. Yeah. Definitely not. But we watched it.
But this has been like a super interesting journey through all of these. Because like like I said, I'm trying to like keep it loose. Like I'm not picking a genre to like listen to. I'm just like recommendations, whatever floats my way, whatever I just feel like Andrea suggested the Paramore album. My dad suggested Stevie Wonder. I picked Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's just like I'm just whatever comes to me is what I'm buying, and like it's been like an interesting journey just going through all of these different genres of music, and like also kind of seeing where like things line up. I think I talked about this, but I don't remember if I talked about it on the podcast or not. But from that Temptations album, there is a song that is like Fergie copied, and she did what she presents as a cover of this song, or maybe a sample, but it's basically just the same song. She just basically took the entire song, Get Ready, and like just sang it again. Like it,
Yeah,
like there are covers, there are samples. This is neither of those things. This is just she just
rip off.
sang, yeah, she just sang their song. Like she just like like I am a rap listener. I have tons of grace for samples. If you do it and you're actually transforming it in some way to a new song, I don't not a big deal to me. But this is not that. She just sang their song. And I'm like,
The most egregious one of those I've ever seen, and I can't remember which song it was, but Five Finger Death Punch, which whom I hate with every fiber of my being, sampled an Avril Lavigne song, and I love Avril Lavigne. I need to go back and find it, but it was very egregious.
I'm gonna find a YouTube clip of someone comparing these two songs and send it to you, because it's like this might take your record because it's so bad. She didn't even try.
Mhm.
She didn't even
Oh,
try.
dude, I hate Fergie. I hate the strong word. I am not a fan of Fergie.
Okay.
So she can take her lady lumps and just pee her pants and go somewhere else.
I don't hate Fergie in the context of her amongst other artists.
I
Her
like the
solo
Black Eyed Peas.
her solo stuff, you can keep it because you literally just copied freaking Temptations
Right.
line for line. You can keep that. But
We,
like
we all listen to Black Eyed Peas for Will I Am. You know what I mean?
true.
Like that's just yeah, I like Will I Am a lot.
So this is also like I've got so much stuff in the tank. This is gonna keep happening. But like there's a song by Kanye called All of the Lights. Have you ever heard this song?
No, I have Kanye's a big blind spot for me.
Okay. This was before he went crazy, so if that helps any. But
He's always been crazy cat.
well, yes, but like, okay, this is before he went beyond being a crazy artist into being a crazy person.
I got you.
And it's a song called All of the Lights. And I've listened to that song 100 times. And like, I just thought everyone in that song were all just like backup singers, but they're not. And it's insane. All of the Lights has Kanye West, Fergie, Alicia Keys, Elton John, Kid Cudi, and Fergie.
To be fair, that was probably a time where Elton John would just show up anywhere.
Like,
Um,
like he's absolutely slaughtering this song. I just did not know it was him. I was just like, oh, it's just some random guy. And then someone I saw a video about it and they were like, no, that's Elton John. And then like, oh, there's
so
just
we
some
had
go
we
ahead.
had a Ghostbusters themed birthday party for Drake when he was 2, and as we were singing, we turned around and Elton John was singing in the background.
I was just
There
like,
is something strange in your neighborhood. I'm done.
like I was just like, okay, so that verse is Fergie, and then Elton John comes in, and then Alicia Keys starts singing back up to Elton John, and then after they stop singing, then Kid Cudi comes in. Like, what is this song? Like it's so bad because like I'm gonna have to send you a link to All of the Lights, but like the worst part of that song by a surprising margin is Kanye West.
Yeah.
And this is on and that is on My Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy, which is his like second best album. And on this song, he gets out rapped by Fergie, Then he gets out rapped by Kid Cudi. Then he gets absolutely stunted on by Elton John. Then Alicia Keys comes in and stunts on him. It's like, I wouldn't put this on my album. Like,
So I'm not a Kanye guy. I know people really like, around the time College Dropout came out. I don't remember what came first. My exposure to Kanye was Twista, and I've talked about this on the podcast before and all that stuff. But like, I don't think Kanye was that great on that album. You know what I mean? Like, he was it was in a supporting role and all that stuff. But I don't think Kanye is as good as people like. If Prince is underrated, Kanye is overrated, like, big time.
I think lyrically, Kanye West is overrated. I think a lot of people, a lot of people hear the songs that he puts together, and as he is a rapper, they immediately go, "This song is so good that makes Kanye a great rapper." And it's like, no,
Right.
Kanye is his ability to like put together music and put together sounds, make beats, make harmonies, all of that. That is where Kanye is good. And then he's like, I'm not going to give this great beat to anybody else, so I'm going to rap on it. And then you get Kanye albums. I mean, a lot of his albums are really great, but he's not like, if I were to make a list of like the top 10 lyrical rappers, I don't think Kanye would even make the top 10.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love Graduation, and I absolutely love College Dropout, and I absolutely love My Dark Twisted Fantasy. But like, I love them for their like composition, not for Kanye, absolute lyricism. I'm with you on that. I don't think that he's overrated because that's all part of being a rapper. But like, as far as his lyrics, I wouldn't put him in the top 10 of rappers. I don't know if he would honestly make the top 20. Like, there are so many people who are just lyrically better than him. I don't know if he would make the top 20. And that's not me saying that if I were making a top 10 of rappers in general, like I'd probably put him in the top 10, but I wouldn't put him in the top 20 of like lyricists.
Right.
But anyways, that just, I was like, what is this song? Like why do you have so many people on this? And then also, why are you getting out rapped by Fergie? Why are you getting absolutely just smashed by Elton John? Like, Elton John and Alicia Keys absolutely carry that song. Like, without a question. When you hear it, you'll be like, is Kanye even here? Like, he spits out like 1.5 verses, and then the rest of it is just everybody else. He's maybe in that song for 45 seconds. Oh God, my brain.
You remember when he got outperformed by Mike Myers?
Yeah. I like, my thing about Kanye is, I think okay, you've said this before, and I think it's one of the greatest statements. Like, we were talking about this before, and you were talking about how like Kanye West like has always thought that he was better than he is received, and it just went to his head until he even when he got super popular, it just wasn't enough.
Right.
And then he just like went off the walls. But like, the 3 albums in a row, the College Dropout, Graduation, and My Dark Twisted Fantasy, I think those 3 albums I would put those in like that run in like the top 5 of all rap albums. I think all of those are amazing albums, but then everything he's released after that sucks. All of it.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of those albums, I didn't make it past Yeezus. I listened to Yeezus. I haven't listened to anything since. And not once has a Kanye song popped up that's even pierced my veil more for me to even listen to it. I'm like, all of this is just garbage. Like, scoopity boopty doopty, like, get out of here. But like, if he put out another album, that's real, by the way. That's not me making I would say that's not me making a random sound to make fun of it. He actually put that on an album. Just like him going scoopity whoopty doopty whoopty whoop. for like 30 straight seconds.
And I'm pretty sure he probably said, "F it, they'll buy it."
Yeah, absolutely he did. And like, if what the thing that I will say about Kanye is, if instead of all the crap he put out after My Dark Twisted Fantasy, if he put out an album that was as good as My Dark Twisted Fantasy was, he would probably be the top, the number between 2 and 1 of the greatest rappers of all time. Like, if he could have put out another album as good as My Dark Twisted Fantasy, he would be in the greatest rapper ever running. But putting out those 3 albums and then putting out straight garbage for 12 years, like, like,
Yeah,
like he like, the crazy thing about his entire person is the thing that he wants is to be respected as like the greatest musician of all time. He was 1 album away from it before he fell off. If he had done it and he had have sticked to what he was doing and actually put out another solid album, he would have been in the conversation for the greatest rapper of all time. But because he just put out nothing but garbage since, he's like, okay, now most people probably wouldn't put you in the top 20.
yeah. Well, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Freaking Kanye West. So annoyed. I genuinely, like, I kind of hate you. Like, I kind of wish you would have gone away forever at this point. Like, instead of,
Oh, dude. I mean, absolutely. With all the Nazi stuff, and I mean, that's probably another conversation and stuff. But yeah, with all the stuff that he's been into in the last 10 years, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Just
and
I could go
yeah,
the rest of my life without hearing about Kanye.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I honestly, at this stage of the game, irredeemable, nothing you can do to ever become even palatable to me ever again. Please just continue your slide into nothingness until you actually go away.
Right? Yep. Agreed.
Okay. So my what you playing is also my topic for today. So if you want to do yours first, and then I will jump in, and then we can like switch back and forth, or however you want to do it.
Okay. I don't really have a whole lot that I'm playing, to be quite frank. I I'm kind of going on a bit of a Nintendo renaissance. I, Aaron, adore my Switch 2. Just it was such a good buy, and not for Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart is what it is. I'll pop into that every now and again, but like I've been playing a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza, like when I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nowhere near finished with it, but like just in between, like when I do get time for games, like Donkey Kong's one of the games that I really like to play. I've been on Switch Online quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
with when playing some of the N64 games. So I played a little bit of Star Fox 64, a little bit of Dr. Mario 64, and that got me wanting to play Dr. Mario on the NES. I didn't realize that the NES was 40 this year.
Oh yeah.
So like that was going to be my topic, I guess, just more reminiscing about the big gray box, I guess. But me kind of going back and playing some of these old NES games, and I probably play more NES games than maybe the average person. I still play quite a bit, not just like through Switch or whatever. There's a lot of NES games on PS5 as well, or PS4, PS5. That family of consoles. Just the Castlevania games are there. Ducktales is on there. Chip and Dale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Contra. A lot of the old Contra games are on there. But Switch Online's got a lot of that stuff too. And like I've gone back and played some Super Mario Brothers. I hadn't played the original Super Mario Brothers in a very long time. So I sat down the other night. Lydia was sleeping and like actually sleeping, which is really cool. And I didn't realize exactly how much time I had. So I popped in, I beat Super Mario Brothers and I hit B to start the new quest and I beat it again. And she's still sleeping. So I hit B and I started again. So I beat Super Mario Brothers 3 times in one sitting. But yeah, I just like it's not hard to believe that it's 40 at this point. Nintendo's kind of the flat circle,
Right.
especially like as we get older, like time seems to fly a little bit more, and Nintendo's a lot different now than it used to be. But like, I think I think the NES, like, especially as kids get older and they're nostalgic for the things that they grew up with. So like you see a lot of love for the GameCube right now, or the 3DS right now is kind of going through a little bit of a renaissance as well. Like people are buying stuff up, things are becoming more expensive, that kind of stuff. And you can usually tell when things are popular just based off of the secondhand prices. But with the NES turning 40, I was kind of thinking about some of my favorite NES games, and I asked you to come up with some of yours as well. But like, what when you and I started hanging out, the Super Nintendo was in full swing.
Yeah.
So we didn't really play a lot of NES games together. So you didn't really see my NES phase.
Mm-hmm.
Castlevania and Mega Man, like, heck, dude, Mega Man, we we didn't grow up poor or anything like that, but like we didn't have a lot of games. So we rented a lot of stuff. I rented Mega Man so much that I thought I was Mega Man. When like third grade, I remember specifically, you write your name at the top of the paper. My name was Mega Man. Like, that's how obsessed with that stuff that I was. So like Mario was a big part of it, yes, but like it's the Mega Mans, it's the Castlevanias, it's the Dr. Marios, it's the Zeldas, it's, I don't know if you remember Little Nemo the Dream Master, like
Mm-hmm.
silly stuff like that. Like, I didn't I wish I had played stuff like Dragon Warrior or Final Fantasy back in the day, like, because I don't know if you've ever gone back and beaten the original Final Fantasy, but like it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I had discovered that before Zelda, I would probably be a different gamer today, probably. But what are some of your favorite NES games?
Okay. So my NES history is a very interesting because I feel like doesn't necessarily it doesn't necessarily click to who I am now. Like the games that you think I would have been into in the NES days, I wasn't, just because like a lot of the NES choices weren't mine, and honestly, a lot of them weren't my brother's. They were my dad's choices because he was the regular Nintendo fan before me and my brother were ever into video games. So
Right.
all three Mario Brothers games obviously made the list just because they were Mario Brothers games, but my dad is, an old black guy, so his Punch Out was his jam. Like my dad is one of those dads who can beat Mike Tyson. Like, did it
Oh,
before tutorials, did it before stuff like that was even accessible. Like my dad can actually just beat Mike Tyson in Punch Out. Well, I don't know if he can now, but when we were kids, he could. Contra.
that's a flash game.
I mean, the weirdest thing is like for his birthday, I bought him one of those SNES minis, and I don't know if he's ever actually hooked it up, but like I was like, I got you an SNES mini so you can play some of those old SNES games. And he was like, does it have Punch Out? And I was like, of course it has Punch Out. He's like, okay, awesome, thank you. Like, I don't think my dad would ever go out of his way to buy an SNES to like play Punch Out properly, but like I'd spend $60 on him so he could play some Punch Out, even if he doesn't ever hook it
Yeah,
up. It just is a great present.
it's thoughtful.
Yeah, Ducktales, both of those Teenage Mutant Turtle games, for better or for worse.
Oh, dude, that
Ice
water level like still gives me nightmares.
Excite Bike. I never actually played Final Fantasy on SNES. Like that's one of those things that I feel like if you've listened to this podcast, you'd be like, "Oh, Aaron obviously played Final." I did not. I did not play. I did play Gradius though. Gradius is one of those like
Oh yeah.
absolute hands down. I remember playing the crap out of it. Tiny Toon Adventures, ice hockey, kung fu,
Yep.
and I remember like this is oh god. I wrote down this list when you sent me that message, and now I'm looking at it again. Battletoads.
I hate Battletoads.
I hate Battletoads now. I hate it now.
Oh, Pimple, Zits, and Rash.
I
Like,
remember absolutely being obsessed with it in the
yeah,
SNES, in the NES days. But like now, I'm like, I wouldn't touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. Like
yeah,
you and your Battletoads away from me. I don't have the time, energy, or willpower for that.
yeah. That's one of those, like, it was built to be mean,
Yeah,
you know? Yeah, just one of those weird holdouts from the arcade days where it's just meant to eat your quarters.
yeah. I just remember like it's one of those things. This is one of those things with the SNES. This is a very specific memory that I have that I remember teaching myself to break. It's so many SNES games were not, I mean, that's not fair to say because technically it is, but like they weren't made for you to beat them. They were just made for you to play them.
Yeah,
Like, like obviously all the games have endings of some sort, you know, unless you're like Tetris or Pac-Man or whatever. But like they all have endings, but like they aren't made for you to just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to sit down and, you know, play some Double Dragon and get to the end and beat the last boss." They weren't made that
yeah,
way. They were
right.
made for you to like get to a certain point and then die over and over again, and then get a game over and then start from the beginning and play it again. Like
Yeah. Castlevania you can beat in 20, 30 minutes, but like it's designed to kill you basically
yeah,
and have you start over. That's where the value comes into it, is the replayability.
yeah, like that was one of those things that like I had to unlearn as I got older and played more games, like getting into the Super Nintendo era and like games being actually beatable and like casually beatable. Like you just had to like play the game. Like you just had to, sometimes it was just you had to like grind a couple levels to get enough of, you know, character, or your character leveled up, or get enough items or whatever to be able to get through the end. But like these NES games are like, no, you literally have to devote time, energy, pattern memorization, like
Yep.
to actually finish them. Like I
Right.
have never done it, and I would never claim this glory for anyone else. But like Ninja Gaiden is not a game that is meant to be beaten casually.
Nope.
Like if you,
Although I do know people that can beat that.
yeah, like it's, I'm not saying it's not possible, but like
Right.
you've gotta take a section of your brain and like shake it out of all the stuff that's in there and put in the exact pattern of every enemy in the entire game if you want to finish that fucking game.
So, like, to that point too, I think that's why I was always drawn to Capcom games. I think, especially like Mega Man, Ducktales, Chip and Dale, stuff like that. Darkwing Duck was really good. Like those games, like they have that sort of like kill you mentality. Especially, I mean, Mega Man can be brutally hard, but like once you memorize the patterns and all that, like Capcom wants you to finish their games. Chip and Dale, I mean, you can beat that one pretty easily, about 20, 30 minutes or whatever. It's not like, obnoxiously hard or anything like that. But like some of the some of the first video games that I remember beating were Capcom games. And I think that's why, I mean, also just because they make great games still, but like, that's why I have such a fondness for them to even, to this day, in my 40s, because I grew up with that stuff, and like they felt like video games made tailored for me,
Yeah.
especially Mega Man, Ducktales. I just gosh, dude, I was playing Ducktales yesterday. Like time is very limited when it comes to playing video games these days, and I actually kind of came to an epiphany the other day when it comes to that. But I guess I can get into that later. But the short and sweet style games, I mean, those are more up my alley right now. And gosh, dude, those like the NES is king for that. And
Mhm.
I think that's why I've been gravitating to it so much, like naturally, like not just because it's turning 40. I was listening to a podcast and that kind of came up and they were going through everything. I'm like, holy cow, just I mean, not only does time fly, but like I'm still playing these games and these games are super awesome still. And I got to talk about it on the pod. So, and I
Mhm.
also didn't really have much else to talk about. So I'm glad you brought music to the table because if it wasn't for that, like I don't know if I could hold up my part just talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza, even though that game is fantastic.
I
So I'm kind of weaving in and out of stuff, but like I don't see a world where that's not my game of the year this year. So Bonanza's fantastic.
all right.
Anyway,
Now we got a dual baby podcast here.
oh, you got a baby too?
I got a baby too.
Game dads, man. I said we had game dads after dark. Now it's game times mid afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to say about like staying in this kind of conversation, especially with Capcom games, I feel like Mega Man games have the Mega Man games are the games I'm describing where you're like you just kind of gotta grind a little bit and get the stuff you need because like I mean it wasn't in the first games obviously but like you eventually you got like capsules and freaking you know PP and all this other stuff that you could use to like if you just grind a little bit you could have enough to like fight the boss or whatever but like Contra is a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. I remember I remember I have a distinct memory of me and my brother just absolutely just getting annihilated in the first level so many times. And then that one time where you finally sneak through and get to the second level and then immediately die. And then you just start over again back at the beginning. And like, that's just.
Yeah. The perspective changes.
Ugh. Ugh.
Contra's I love Contra. That first Contra game, that's my so you talk about your dad with Punch Out.
Yep.
Contra was that with my dad. Like and the same thing too. We couldn't get past that first level. It wasn't until Contra 3 that we were able to really sit down and play it. But like my dad was obsessed with that game. He just restart that first level over and over again, you know,
Hmm.
because he couldn't get much farther.
Yeah. Just like that's like a one of those. I mean, at the time that I'm thinking of, I was probably maybe 4 or 5, but I still have like solid memory of my dad sitting in front of our TV in our basement playing Punch Out and just like sitting there amazed like how good he was and I'm like at 5 I'm at 5 so I can't tell you exactly but I do know that my dad was able to beat Tyson in Punch Out and like
That's awesome.
I'm sure my brother took that to school with him, like, oh, my dad are better at Punch Out than your dad or whatever, because he literally, like, it was Punch Out was like the only game that he was like really, really good at.
So kind of on the same talk of family with the NES, like the my grandpa was really into that.
Mm.
So much so like he made sure that we had all the coolest toys and stuff. So if you believe him, which I don't, like supposedly he went like out of state to get one. So he went out of state to get one for me and then one for my cousins. But I also remember him like we would play 2 player Mario, like Super Mario Brothers, specifically the first Mario Brothers, but Mario Brothers 3 a little bit. And he loved it so much that like he went out and bought himself one, like when the top loaders were out.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't realize how cheap those were when they came out. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but they were like $50. They
Hey.
had like the dogbo controllers and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I There was on that podcast I listened to the other day, and I had to like go and double check it. I guess I mean you go to like KB Toys or whatever, they had them like stacked up and they were cheap. Just nuts. I can't even imagine because those things are so hard to find now. But anyway,
KB
but
toys.
like I've got Mario and Luigi tattooed on my wrists and all that stuff, and that's from my grandpa. Like that's the thing that he and I did together. So like the NES will always have a special place in my heart. Like I don't know. I'll probably end up playing some Dr. Mario tonight just to I got to get it out of my system.
Yeah.
But I've been so into this lately, and it makes me think of my makes me think of my grandpa. Liddy, what are you doing? Are you yelling at Dad? So and now I get to play with her, which is really cool. So
Okay, we are officially double babied up.
well, if you want to get to your stuff, and then we can wrap it up if you want.
Yeah, because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep her from just screaming bloody murder. So,
Go for it.
okay, so I have turned a page of Satisfactory with Satisfactory, but it is a page back into the game where I am playing it at a much more complex level than I was playing it previously. I'm playing more, harder, and more detailed than I ever have before. It's ridiculous. But that's not what I want to talk about. Like, it's crazy. I started like designing all of my factories and like making sure the items that are being loaded up are to the exact number that each machine needs, and then everything is connected all the way up, all the way 5 floors high. It's crazy. The factory I just built in this game is absolutely crazy and over designed and crazy. So we're not even gonna talk about how bad my obsession is getting, but I decided to
I'm
branch
glad you
off.
hadn't.
I love it. I decided to branch off into a different direction. So I realized that, I mean, you might argue with me, someone might argue with me, but I would say, in no particular order, the best RPGs that came out on Super Nintendo are Final Fantasy VI, A Link to the Past, Chrono Trigger, and Secret of Mana. And I realized I'm playing 2 of those games. And then when you were talking about Final Fantasy VI, that made me download it and start playing it. So now I'm playing Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, awesome.
So then my brain was like, I'm playing 3 of the 4 games, so I might as well just start up a playthrough of Link to the Past. So now I'm
I
also
don't
playing
think
Link
Link
to
to the Past is an RPG. That's the only thing I would argue with. But like,
eh, you could
like you
call
don't like you could.
so you could call
I
it
think
an adventure game, but I would still classify all Zelda games as RPGs.
yeah. Yeah, I don't have it in me to argue it and stuff, but it's like you take on the role of Link. Like you're not really. I mean, I guess you get yourself better by getting equipment and stuff, and that's no different than like Diablo or whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
So
But that's awesome though. Have you? So with Final Fantasy VI, I got like 30 hours into it, and I kind of hit a little bit of a wall, and I don't know where you're at with it,
not
but
very far.
dude, but you've beaten it before, right?
No, actually,
You haven't? Okay, then I'll refrain. Let me. You know about the thing though, don't you?
the
The
thing
the event,
the thing
the
where
event.
the villain wins.
Yes.
Yes, I know about that thing.
Okay. Do you know anything about the post thing?
I mean, I know a little, but
Okay. I'm trying not to spoil things for you if that's the case. We can save that for another day if you want to. But I have thoughts on Final Fantasy 6. And which one are you playing the Pixel remaster?
yeah, I'm playing the Pixel remaster.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I just like it was literally you were talking about it, and then like I got a notification from Steam, and it was like on sale right now, all of the Pixel remasters, and I'm like, ooh, and like I just like I'm gonna pick this up. Like
Yeah.
like it's not like it's a game that I have started many times but never finished, and I'm just like
Yeah.
I am gonna sit my ass down and play through this game. Like I need to start beating these games. Like I've played like everything past Final Fantasy VI. I have played and beaten. So like, well, except for 12.
I have not beaten 12 either. I'm at the end of it. I have a save file on the Zodiac Age that's right there at the end.
Yeah.
It happens to me every single time. I bounce.
Like
I don't know what happens with it.
I got pretty far into it, but it just like is one of those games where I don't ever have like a secondary game that I'm playing usually. I'm usually up until recently I was usually just playing one game. And every time I started playing Final Fantasy 12, I would start playing it, I would get decently way into it and I'm not like not interested. I just like never actually get to the end and then another game that I want to play pops up and I put it down and I just never pick it back up again. I probably have like 5 saves somewhere of Final Fantasy 12. I just never finished it.
Yep. I've got one on PS2. I got real close to the end. It's not a long game. Like there's things that make it longer and stuff, but I'm at the end. But like speaking of long games, though, 6 is pretty long too. Like if you're doing everything in that game, like you're probably spending upwards of 50, 60 hours in it.
I say
Did you know that?
I didn't know it was that long. I
Oh,
know
dude, yeah.
I know that I've played up to because like Final Fantasy 6 is actually one of like the first games I ever owned. Like me personally, and I bought it and then I played it for a really long time. I was probably 10 or 11. I played it for a really long time, got towards the end, and then like got stuck on a boss that I couldn't beat. And like one of one of James's cousins saw that I had it, and then he asked me if I wanted to trade it for Sim City. And
Oh no.
I traded him Final Fantasy 9 or Final Fantasy 6 for Sim City.
Oh no.
And that began my obsession with simulation games. So
Oh, so that ended up being a good thing.
yes, it was absolutely a good trade. I don't know if it was financially a good trade, but
Uh,
for me, it was a good trade because
Interesting, dude. I had no clue.
yeah, I played.
Hey, Dad.
What's up, buddy?
My hands is earlier. I watching TV.
You're watching TV.
Yeah, my hands is dirty. My hands is dirty, Gigi. My hands is dirty.
Your
My-
hands are dirty. Then go wash your hands.
Where is it?
Go to the sink in your bathroom and wash your hands.
No, I did.
You already did.
Yeah.
Not a clean. Okay, then go back and watch some TV. But yeah, so I like Final Fantasy 6 is okay. My track record just for the peoples. I have beaten Final Fantasy 1. I have played through most of Final Fantasy 2. I have beaten Final Fantasy 3. I have beaten Final Fantasy 4. I haven't touched 5. I've never even like picked up 5. Like no history with it at all. And like Final Fantasy 6 I have like probably 35 to 40 hours in, but that was on actual Super Nintendo when I was 11.
You know, the pixel remasters are good too. I think the quality of life stuff really helps. I like the bestiary. You can kind of keep track of like your enemies
Mm-hmm.
and like the maps are pretty good. I like that you can if you want to play it sort of like it's not a 1-to-1 video game. But if
Mm-hmm.
you want to play it sort of like with the like extra, how it was intended to be played, no experience boost, you can do that. Like, but I will say, even with experience boost and all that, like Final Fantasy 6 is still a long game. So like there are, I I know that there are people and like different communities on the internet and stuff that will say Final Fantasy 7 was a step back from 6. And in a lot of ways it is. Like there aren't as many side quests in 7 as there are in 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still firmly in the camp. I think that like I like the quote unquote like the PlayStation era of Final Fantasy more than I like the original ones. So that's probably maybe a little not controversial, but I don't really care like
Yeah.
what people think, what I think about games. But that's how I roll with it.
Yeah. I personally, in my experience, like and like not super recently, but like I recently went back and played the original Final Fantasy. I played I forget what they're called, but the ones that came out for PlayStation.
Oh, like the Origin ones?
Yeah, the Origins. Yeah, I played that recently. Then I have an entire playthrough of Final Fantasy 4 on my YouTube channel. Like I did that whole thing for YouTube. I played
Four's great.
the entirety of 4. And
I think four's better than 6.
I tend to agree with you on liking the newer ones. I don't know if that's because like I really didn't lock in and finish a Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy 7. So maybe it's just you know, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, just like playing all of them, in their original hype, in their original forms at the time when they dropped, and like that being my real like true introduction to Final Fantasy. I don't know if that makes me biased in a way towards the older ones, but I agree with you.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think
If 6 had the marketing push that 7 had, like, dude, 7 was everywhere.
oh yeah.
And everyone was hyped for that game. If 6 had that same sort of marketing push, we might have a little bit, like, it may be a different story. But I don't know.
Yeah, it had that advantage. I think I feel like I talk about this every time we get too far in the past of video games, but I feel like the change from the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis to the PlayStation, the 64 and the Saturn, I feel like the games that maybe not even specifically the games, but like the franchises that existed during that era just got a boost that I don't think any other like series will ever get. Just that the fact that they were coming out and the technology that was surrounding those games is so different from the generation before it in a way I don't know if we'll ever see again. That like you could hype anything during that genre. Freaking, you can curse me out later, but like Sonic Adventure came out during that era and it was hyped to no hell, to like all like
Yeah.
as huge as possible, as much as I appreciate that game, but it is flawed. As much as I appreciate Sonic Adventure, is still flawed. And like,
It is.
if a game dropped in the condition that Sonic Adventure did now, even if it was like still beloved, people would be like, this thing's a broken mess. Not
So
like,
I did play it on original hardware last year, and it's not as buggy as I remembered it. But like I totally agree with you though. Like I think the hype really, and just the way that game looked,
mhm.
like things that we had never seen anything look like Sonic Adventure at that point.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember losing my mind at the commercials for Sonic Adventure. I remember seeing
Yeah.
commercials and being like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Look, he's upside down on the." Oh, I remember the weird mouth animations. I still remember the commercial, and I still remember
Yeah.
freaking out when I saw it.
Dude, man, I can't agree with you more though. Like games moving from those systems to like the newer hardware, like everything got better. Just Mario got better, Zelda got better, Mario Kart got better, freaking Castlevania got better. Like, dude, it makes me want to go play Ocarina of Time again.
Yeah, yeah. I like. I've already said this. I feel like I've said this 100 times on the podcast, but like, I remember that like start screen of Mario 64 where you can scrunch his face.
Yeah.
I remember renting a Nintendo 64, renting Mario 64, sitting in our living room and doing that for hours.
Yeah.
Because it was just so like absolutely revolutionary to what we were used to being able to do. And I think that, hold on a second, sorry. She's about to fall asleep. Go. In the kitchen. Go. Sorry. Max is about to fall asleep. I had to get Lee out of here. So it's got a little bit of, I feel like everything in that era got a little bit of a push just because we're moving to this new format that just changed everything so drastically. And I think like it's a boost that I don't know if other video games are ever going to get. I think maybe if like they really, really figure out a way to make 3D like insanely usable and accurate and convenient, and they could really like put you in like a real game and it doesn't feel clunky in any way, maybe, but I don't even know if that would be enough to like get that same boost.
Dude, I don't think I think video games have plateaued. I don't know really where we go from here. Kind of what you said about Mario 64. When's the last time something came out and you saw it and you're like, I have to have this?
Yeah.
Like, dude, like when I saw Mario 64 running for the first time, it it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that term gets thrown around a lot. Like, I could not comprehend how this was happening. Just a few short years before that, like 5 years is not a long time, but like in the time between Super Mario World and Super Mario 64, I mean, that was only 5 years. You know, I guess give or take, but like there, like nothing had ever looked like Mario 64 before.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to get that again. Like
Yeah.
my son will never experience that. Like where something comes out and it's so mind blowing that you have to have it.
Like just like going back to the way Mario 60, like we it it's so different that like the control scheme that we use to control Mario was not even thought of before Mario 64 happened. Like you
Yeah.
had to relearn how to play video games in order to play Mario 64 because it's so
Yep.
different from anything on any other system that it ever dropped. Like it's
Right.
just it that game changed so much about video games, and like I don't, like you said, I don't think there's a way that they can do it again. I don't. I mean, I never say never, because like nobody who
We know
was
too much.
nobody who was playing Super Nintendo ever thought that Mario 64 would ever happen, but it did. So obviously
Right.
they're eventually will find a way, like I don't know, maybe like connect directly into your brain and you just wake up in the game or something. I don't know. They'll figure out a way, but like it's a far ways away. Like there's nothing on the horizon that even sounds close to being able to have the same impact as Mario 64.
Really, I would say VR should have been that, honestly. But like it's been out too long and it's still too niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've they've not been able to to figure out how to make that as like make that super mainstream where like with Super Mario 64 they put that in a Sears, you know what I mean, with the kiosk. And like you may not, if you had never seen 3D games before and you were kind of confused about like how that's going to control, they put the controller in your hands, you just immediately figure it out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
with VR, it's hard to get people into that. Like it's hard to show the masses like what that is. And as easy to use as I'm going to say like the MetaQuest is, Drake has the MetaQuest 3 and it's got like hand tracking and all that stuff. It's very intuitive, but it's still a very hard thing to explain to people without like again, Mario 64, you can put a controller in their hand and they like, as futuristic and spaceship like as that stupid controller is, like you can still figure it out. And that controller is very stupid. But for Mario 64, it works, Like it's just I couldn't think of any other way to play that game other than that stupid boomerang.
Yeah. The thing that I think 3D is having the issue with is it's I think it's trying to get over the hump of the kind of sunk cost fallacy, and also just getting people into the door officially, because like the difference between any of the VR projects that are happening right now and Mario 64 is Nintendo said, this is it. Like, this controller, 3D, all of this is it. So
Yeah.
if you want to play video games going forward, you need to buy a 64 and you need to get used to using this controller.
Right.
And like, when, PlayStation launches their PSVR 2, it's a $600 accessory that you have to buy, and you only play the games, VR games. They're not going like, everything from here forward is going to be VR. So we are sending you this, we're packaging this with the base console, and this is how you play games now. But like, they haven't produced anything that would ever warrant that type of action. Like, Mario 64 speaks for itself. Like, when you're playing Super Nintendo and they say, we're going to 3D, then you play Mario 64 and you're like, all right, bring it on. Whatever else you got, bring it. But like, when you play, I don't know, VR The Walking Dead, you're like, okay, this is kind of cool, but like, where's my controller? Let's get back into it. Like, they have to produce something that's like that level. Like, if they produce a game that's good enough that you're like, I don't want, like, when you play Mario 64, your brain does not go, yeah, but I want to like play the 2D version of this. You're like,
Yeah.
no, this is it. Like, I want to play this. But when you play these VR games, you're like, yeah, but I don't know if this would be less cool if I was using a controller. And like, that's the problem. And it's going to take a while before they get over that hurdle. And I think once they do, games are obviously going to shift. And like I said, it's going to have to be a Mario 64 level game to get us into the motion of using VR, so that they can actually improve VR games to like take them to the next level. But like, when 10% of your gaming base, 10% is probably a generous number, maybe probably more like 5%, buys this peripheral, and then you're producing 35 games a cycle that are VR. It's like, why would I ever buy this? Like, it's kind of a waste of money, especially since I know the big titles that I'm really excited for aren't going to use VR. Like, there's no way that the next freaking God of War game is going to be a VR game. It's just not going to happen. So like,
Right.
It's the you need to put your whole foot in that like stalls so many things in the gaming industry. It's like, if you only go at it half-assed, then people are only going to half-ass play it and half-ass love it. If you put your whole ass in, you got to take the
Right.
risk.
I think that's why the Switch took off as much as it did. And that's kind of where you see things moving now. Like there's the rumors of, PS6 being,
Yeah.
hybrid handheld or whatever.
I'm terrified, boy. Like,
Dude,
yeah.
I don't know about that.
Do you know how heavy that thing is
But
going to be?
oh man, like, well, they're putting out all those features now, that like the power saving features, so you can play like Ghost of Tsushima at like half speed or whatever. It's not drawing as much power, and supposedly that is like that's to kind of test the handheld part of it, I guess, question mark. But like handheld seemed like, I don't know, handhelds seem to be kind of where everything's going. But you talk about, half-ass and full-ass and all that, like that's Nintendo, man. Like Nintendo is doing that right now. Nintendo put their whole ass into making this hybrid console, almost 10 years ago now, and look at everybody else following suit with it.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know?
it blows my mind. Like, it doesn't, because this is kind of what Nintendo does. But like, it blows my mind the way that Nintendo can just like, because like the concept of the Switch is so simple, but like, it goes against everything that everyone else is doing. It's like, yeah, what if we make a console that you can hook up to the TV and play if you want to? So all the people who have their Switch in the dock and it never leaves, fine. They're playing this just like every other console. But like, for the people who for kids who may not always have access to a TV, you can still get the top of the line first party games on a mobile console that you can play wherever you want to play it. It's
Right.
like,
And they're not splitting their efforts either anymore. So like they don't have like the Game Boy and whatever the home console is. They have everything all at once. So like if
yes.
you're buying Breath of the Wild for one thing, it's on both of it.
Yeah. It's like,
So
it's the perfect idea. And it's like Nintendo figures the thing out. And then, you know, PlayStation and Xbox follow after they see the success of it. But it's like, you're never going to hit the numbers that the Nintendo does because they did it first. Like, we
right.
we get the Game Boy and the DS and the 3DS, and then PlayStation's like, well, I've got a portable console too, and it's like, I love my PSP, but it was never gonna do the numbers of the DS ever.
No. I agree.
Like
I think the other part of it too is why they're succeeding as much as they are. Like it seems video games have become an arms race. Everybody's trying to make the most powerful thing and all this other stuff. But like Nintendo, like say what you will about the performance of some of those old Switch games and stuff, but like, and they're fixing it now with Switch 2, but like those games they don't cost nearly as much as what, a Last of Us Part 2 or whatever cost or whatever. Like, I think they're helping sustain everything, you know, price wise and, how things get made. And like, it doesn't have to be a power arms race or anything like that. Like you can have this console that looks like it does. And it's like you look at like Luigi's Mansion 3 is a great example. I think some of the animation in that is on par, if not better than most of what's coming out of some of these other motion cap studios and stuff. I think they're betting on art direction, and I think they're betting on a lower powered system comparatively to some of the other systems, and it's working game busters for them.
yeah, it
So
just seems like PlayStation and Xbox. Well, we can have a conversation about what's going on with Xbox, but
I do want to do an episode on Xbox eventually.
But PlayStation and Xbox are doing this thing where they're just like, well, if we just make the games bigger and more expensive, then they'll be better. And then they get what they want out of it, but they're literally spending twice the money to still be fighting for second place.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and if you're Xbox's case, I mean, you're losing to literally everything else. You know what I mean? Like it's doing okay, I guess, if you look at the grand scheme of things. But like, they've been throwing money at everything lately, and like, how do you mess up Halo? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even Call of Duty, dude? How do you mess up Call of Duty like that? Like, it's not necessarily about how much money you're throwing at something. It's about the care and stuff that you're putting into it. And like at this point right now, Nintendo is kind of the only ones that really seem to give a crap.
Yeah. Like,
So not to say that, like, I think PlayStation still does pretty well too. Like their first party output is not great this generation. It was in the beginning. Like I mean, the first couple of years we got, Horizon, God of War, Gran Turismo, like Ratchet and Clank. Like it's been pretty good, but like you just can't compete with what Nintendo's been doing. Like it's hard, and I've been critical of Nintendo the last few years. Like I still don't think they make games for me, like specifically. I mean, and that's fine. Like the Zelda's not for me anymore. It's for my son. It's for the Minecraft generation and stuff. But like they still make quality stuff. Just because I don't like Tears of the Kingdom doesn't mean that it's not a quality release. It absolutely is. If you see some of the systems that are involved in that game, like they're pretty immaculate. I may not like them, but like 20 million people that bought the game do.
yeah.
And I think that's what matters.
Yeah. And I feel like that's one of the most like interesting things, and you worded it perfectly. It's like the fact that Nintendo can look at the gaming landscape, see something like Minecraft out there, and see kind of the influx of games similar to it, that have been coming in and gaining popularity in Steam, and then go, what if we took some of the elements of this and we stuck them into Zelda, but we still kept it Zelda? And then they did that thing. And it's like I feel like there's so many times where like PlayStation and Xbox kind of have these, following the trend genre games, but they don't have any soul because they're just trying to capitalize on what's popular. And it's like,
Dude,
Nintendo did
I
the
agree with
exact
that.
Nintendo did the exact same thing that you guys did, but instead of it having no soul, it gives Zelda, well, I'm not gonna say gives Zelda soul because Zelda has plenty of soul to begin with, but it fuses with Zelda's soul and makes a super high quality product instead of like a bargain bin game that just came out to try and capitalize on a trend.
Yeah. Identity would be probably a good word for that too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of games now don't necessarily have an identity. They just have a formula that they follow that, somebody else may put in place, if that makes sense.
Like I hate like I would say I'm the PlayStation fanboy, and I hate to bring up PlayStation's failures specifically in this genre, but like how much money did Nintendo spend on Tears of the Kingdom in comparison to as much money that PlayStation spent on Concord?
Oh, 100%.
They did the exact same thing. They both were following a trend of new games, and then Nintendo executes it almost perfectly. I only put the almost in there because I haven't played it to say that it's perfect, but like Nintendo executes it in Tears of the Kingdom, and then PlayStation executes it in Concord.
Right. I respect where their head's at. They want to try to make the money while they can, while that live service thing is popular and stuff. But I mean, you could have made 3 Last of Us Part 2s for what you lost on Concord. And that's not even, mentioning what they spent on Bungie. It was like what, $3 billion, something like that on Bungie. What the hell are they doing with that? Like Bungie was I think that has more to do with Bungie overselling themselves than it is, Sony overpaying, which I mean, neither one was a great idea. But dude, you were absolutely right. So I think we're recovering from that. Like we as in PlayStation, I guess, fans, whatever. But like we're recovering from that. Like they're canceling some of those games. Like they're steering the ship back into a direction that sounds better. Like Ghost of the Yote is supposedly really good. Or getting back on track with stuff. I think Wolverine looks fantastic. They're getting their identity back. You know what I mean? They're getting that soul. Like what you were saying. Like PlayStation Studios had an identity.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, make fun of it as the sad dad simulator or whatever. But like, there aren't anything like there's nothing like Infamous on Xbox.
Yeah.
There's nothing like Rat. I mean, Xbox wishes they had a Sly Cooper. You know what I mean? Like they wish they had a Ratchet and Clank, and even something like, more contemporary, like Returnal. There's nothing like Returnal on any other platform. That's part of PlayStation's identity. It's more gameplay driven, which is not necessarily like I would say PlayStation Studios games have a great gameplay history, but Returnal is like 100% gameplay, and there's nothing like that on any other console, Xbox or Nintendo.
Yeah. What I want to say is like this goes to my positive, which is kind of interesting. Social media affects real life, but it's not real life. Like the idea of a bunch of people getting online and referring and talking about how all PlayStation stories are similar and the same, and the whole sad dad simulator thing. It's like I hear the words that you're saying, but then I looked at the numbers and I saw that the games that you're referring to absolutely killed. Every one of them that released are almost legendary games at this point, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I hear that you're talking about it. I even can pick up on what you're putting down. That PlayStation has lots of games that have older guys who are, sad, and the older guys who have sad backstories and all of it. I hear what you're saying, but it's what you're saying sounds good, and it probably gets a lot of likes on social media, but the idea that you would put Kratos, Joel, and the dude from Red Dead Redemption 2 in the same category of anything besides just being dudes is kind of silly.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
It's a hive mind, and a lot of times somebody says one thing that is funny or quippy or whatever, and then the rest of the people pick up on it, and then it becomes true. So now everybody's a sad dad,
Yeah.
even though that's not exactly the case.
Yeah, it's like it's social media can affect real life, but it's not real life. And that's one of those things that drives me up the wall. And you brought up Ghost of Yote, and is making me think about all of the people online whining about Ghost of Yote for the past month, and I'm like, how do you guys, like, I understand that, like, if you want to hate something, you find someone else hating on the thing you want to hate on, and then you jump on the bandwagon. But the stuff that people are complaining about that game, like,
So I'm not aware. Let me guess. Is it because she's a woman?
well, I mean, the central theme of all of this is complaining because she's a woman, but, like, they're talking about the
No.
quality of the game, and they're searching for things to complain about. Like, there's a clip of her rolling in water, and then being like, oh, her clothes aren't even wet. She's rolling in water,
Dude,
and her clothes aren't wet. And I'm like,
F all the way off.
I'm like, first of all,
it's the same people that complain about puddles in Spider-Man.
yeah, first of all, who fucking cares? If some dev out there decided that it was more worthy of his time to make sure that the game looks gorgeous than to make sure she looks wet when she rolls in water, I'm with him.
Right.
And then
This is why games cost $70, by the way.
Yeah, and then second of all, in the clip that they're showing, she's wearing leather. No, it's not gonna look wet. She's wearing leather.
Right.
But the entirety of it is just people doing every little thing. Oh, well, the original sold more than 10 million copies. It's like, once the numbers came out, it was like, yeah, it sold 10 million copies in the 3 years since it's been out. Ghost of Yote has been out for a month and it sold 1 million. What? Stop.
It's up to free today.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. You're just trying to find something to be upset about. Stop.
Right.
Just go find something else to do. You were wrong about this one. You thought it was going to be a bad game. All of your random talking points, you thought it was going to be a bad game. It's not. Just move on. But anyways.
I can't wait to play that one.
And the last little bit I'm going to complain about here is social media affecting real life. They were in the process of designing a Assassin's Creed game. Did you hear about this?
No.
They were in the process of designing an Assassin's Creed game where you were going to play a recently freed slave, and the enemies in the game were going to be the clan.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
And then they saw the reaction to Yasuke, and they canceled that game. Absolutely, positively, the most bullshit, whiny, fake fans using social media to affect the release of this game. These are the people who constantly complain that wokeness affects everything that happens in the writer's room of a game. But now they actually are affecting something happening in the writer's room of a game. Right. These people who are absolute liars and full of shit, should be furious, right? The entire argument
they should be.
Yeah, the entire argument is, oh, well, we don't want you guys using your wokeness to affect the writers and affect the writer's vision. Is this really part of the writer's vision, or is this something they did because of woke? Is that girl supposed to be there, or is that something they did because of woke? Is this character supposed to be black, or is that something because they did because of woke? And now they're actually doing it, and fucking crickets.
Yeah.
Not a single person of all of these people who constantly complain about this have said a word. None of them have gone, oh crap. Our complaining disturbed the vision of this company. We really messed this up, guys. Sorry. Not a word. None of them have said a damn thing about it. I hate all these people. I wish that their internet mob had less power. People weren't listening to these people, and we weren't having to listen to them all the time. But that's the era we're in now. We're in the era where these guys just sit around and complain all day online, and apparently CEOs at the top of major companies are like, oh, we don't want to piss off the racists, so I guess we'll just not make this game. Like, I hate it. I hate all you people.
Yeah.
And I won't say that the internet was a mistake, but
the internet's fine. It's these echo chambers, and
maybe we should have
I missed. Well, I would say even AOL chat boards were, or chat rooms were kind of toxic too. But now it's just
I miss.
I get it.
To jump off of your point, I miss when people used to see how toxic those rooms were and be like, "That's where all the weirdos are. Don't go there because that's where all the weirdos are. Don't. There, this place, this this GameFAQs message board. This is where you should go because those chat rooms are where all the weirdos are. Now that's everywhere.
Yep. And GameFAQs is still a safe haven. That's where I don't post on there, but I lurk. So
just like that, like it makes me so mad that that's a real thing. I don't know. I don't know if they posted that just to make people like me mad, because like that's something they could have just kept in their little writer's room and never. But like the idea that they put that online just to like, hey, you know what we did? We were like, man, these people, these racists are really, really, really suck. So I guess we should just not make them mad again. Like, that angers me. Like, no, you should think I'm going to do it 3 times as hard because I hate these people. But instead they're like, no, we're going to lay low. We don't want them to be too mad at us. Like, oh God. Right. Okay. I got to get off this topic to go to my topic of the show so that we can end this. You ready?
Yeah.
When are you coming to my house, or am I going to yours?
Hopefully you can do it soon, brother.
No, stop.
You want me to say definitively?
The TV show that you once told me that you think me and you both like more than Dragon Ball Z is about to have a new season in February.
Oh. Yeah.
Are we going to your house to watch it, or are you coming to my house to watch it?
I could probably come to you if that's... Because it's been a little while since I've seen the kids. So,
Man.
I watched a couple interviews that Zach Braff and Donald Faison did, because they're doing the media tours right now. And it's, I don't know, something about it just feels different, you know? I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know what it's going to feel like. I don't know.
I mean this in
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yes, and we have to go through this together, man. We have to go through this together.
Yeah, I'm scared.
We have to both sit there and absorb this thing and say, okay, this is not it. They have not done it. Or we both have to hopefully and luckily have that moment where we're like, I'm in. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
But
it took me a long time to forget season 9. That hurt. Dude, especially because of like how perfect season 8 was. It's like like George dying and just the that final walk through the hallway and you know the janitor getting married
It
and
is. It's a very beautiful
and singing
ending.
"Hey Ya."
It's a very beautiful ending. I I am like where I'm at with this. Now, this is all of my like normal just enthusiasm aside. Where I'm at with this is
I'm scared.
I I don't think it's gonna be good. I wanted to say
Oh,
that
there's
up front.
no chance.
I don't think it's gonna be good. There is okay. Here's the other thing I want to say. You know better than I do that Bill Lawrence is better than he was when he was writing Scrubs.
Yep.
I will say I don't think I've listened to a couple of I listened to the podcast Fake Doctors. I don't think that Donald Faison and I don't think they've lost their connection, and that's what carries a lot of the show. But it's everybody else I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah, I don't doubt that Zach Braff and Donald Faison care about everything. I just don't think people care as much as they do.
Yeah, that's
You know
where
what I mean?
that's where I'm at. I just feel like
Bill Lawrence is like shrinking in Ted Lasso, and I say this as a diehard Scrubs fan. I love Scrubs to death. Both those shows are like they lap Scrubs just in terms of quality and heartfeltness. That's not a word. Like Scrubs is very heartfelt, but like Ted Lasso just. But Bill Lawrence would not have been able to do those shows without having done Scrubs, if that makes sense.
yeah, of course.
Uh,
Like, if you're a good, I mean, creative in general, the stuff that you made before is like kind of your testing ground. You're always improving, you're always adding more to whatever you make after. And of course, having something as huge as Scrubs at the beginning of your, well, I won't say beginning, but like, you know, coming from something as big as Scrubs, you're obviously, going to take a lot of it into whatever you do next and try and improve upon it.
yeah.
But
Well, we can hold it. We can, if you want to make it content, we can film each other watching it, and you can hold me because I'm gonna need to be held. And who knows, man? We may be pleasantly surprised, but
here's the
expectations are not high for this.
here's the thing that I will say and that I think both Sarah Chalk and Rudy
Chelsea McGinley,
Carla, whatever her name is.
Judy Reyes.
Yes, they both have continued to do comedic roles since that point, and both of them have been funny. So I just like there's lots of things that in this one that just feel like it could be the one. Like it could be the remake that comes back and it won't be the same as the original Scrubs, but it could be funny in a new way. Everybody there
Right.
is still acting, is still doing comedy, is still good. It's like I just have this like strange hope that like it's gonna work out. And I'm like, it's gonna come back and it's gonna be good. And they're gonna just make nonstop jokes about how bad season 9 was. And it's just gonna be I have hope.
Yeah. I hope I hope you're right. I think that I think everybody involved is what's the best way to put this? I think everyone there can learn from the last 15 years of Scrubs being gone. And I don't think Scrubs is as relevant now as it was, well, even really when it ended, because it sort of fell off as far as popular. I mean, remember, NBC tried to cancel it like
Yeah.
in mid-season. You know what I mean? Like it was really just abrupt. But like I think they've learned a lot. So I think maybe the quality of the writing should be at least better. Like they've learned from maybe past mistakes and blunders, and like they're definitely not gonna like have JD in blackface, or
Yeah.
I highly doubt they're gonna have a whole episode where the lunchroom is divided into Democrats and Republicans. Like that was a that was
Yeah.
an interesting episode too. The Iraq War episode.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that one. I'm definitely like I agree with you. They're definitely not gonna tread down those paths again. I feel like
no,
the the most interesting part, the thing that's going to make or break the show, is in season 8. And I watched a video of someone talking about it, and it kind of blew my mind. In season 8, there's this moment. Well, between season 7 and season 8, there's this moment where they just are like, we're done fucking around. They season 8 starts. JD has a goatee, and then he just stops being like, I am
a
I'm
cartoon character.
yeah, I'm stepping on the rake over and over again. And then he's just smooth. He's just moving through the rest of that season. And
Yeah,
there's so much energy that they could take from season 8 to move into this new season, and have him as this still silly but mature dude. They've got so much stuff there that as long as they capture it and understand why season 8 is so good, and understand why the slide that they were dealing with happened, the popularity slide happened during season 6 and 7, and why they were able to get season 8 and 9. It's it got a chance. I can't
yeah,
I keep saying this, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but they have a chance.
yeah,
And as a fan, I feel like I have to watch. I have to give them a chance. If they think they can do it, I have to give them a chance. It's not like anyone
yeah.
was beating the door down for a Scrubs reboot. So it's
No,
not.
it was definitely Zach Braff and Donald Faison.
Yeah, it's not. I'm saying it's not. It's not that the network was like, "Come on, give us some more Scrubs." It was those two being like, "We want to start this thing back up." So
He didn't have anything else going on. So that's not true. Zach Braff was actually directing episodes of Ted Lasso and Shrinking. So, which is pretty cool. And there's actually a lot of Scrubs people in both of those shows.
yeah,
Did you know that?
yeah, yeah.
Like the janitor is in a couple scenes with Harrison Ford and Shrinking.
This is why I feel this weird confidence, because I keep saying, all of these guys have been still doing stuff, and not in a I'm just hanging my hat on my Scrub stuff. Even that there was a Netflix show with Sarah Chalk in it that I watched. I was like, oh man, this is actually pretty good. Now I keep forgetting her name. Rudy Reyes.
Judy Reyes.
She was in Nails or Claws, which was another show that she was hilarious in. I'm normally when they do these things, it's the whatever show is getting brought back. Most of the people who are in that show haven't done anything since it got canceled, and they just have been kind of chilling until the show started back up. And then the show starts back up, and it's everybody there is rusty. They're trying to get the wheels on the train to start moving again, but they can't because none of them, in their proper form anymore. And it's this was fun, but I don't really need another season of this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop saying it. I'm hoping that this is gonna go. So, but this baby needs to eat, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch us over to positives for the day.
My positive, I haven't thought about one.
You want me to go first?
If you got one, go for it.
Okay. So it's kind of been popping up all over this conversation so far, but social media can affect real life, but it is not real life. I know a lot of people, you're going to hear that, you hear this over and over again, oh, every, person, all the pictures you see of people on social media is actually fake, and no one lives that life, and blah, 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 blah. That's true and not true, because if you see a picture of somebody eating at a restaurant and they look super happy, I mean, super happy is, you know, anybody's guess, but they were at that freaking restaurant. Like, it's like we've gotten to this point where people are saying that people are so obsessed with the idea that social media isn't real that they don't think that it affects real life. Like, oh man, you went to this place and ate this fancy meal. Oh, whatever. That's not real. That's not how you really live. It's like they were at that restaurant and they ate that food and it was probably good. So social media is not real, but it affects real life. So when you're dealing with people online, you might live in this idea that social media is not real, but how you act online affects your real life. If you're one of these people who like thinks it's perfectly okay to be a douchebag to people because they're online, that energy that you're like giving to these strangers online is part of you. So if you're online arguing with people all day, even if you don't know those people, that still affects you. Like you still have spent the entire day arguing with someone. So
Not healthy.
Not healthy, not good for you, not good for your mental, not good for how you feel about yourself. Like this also translates to how you see the world. If you are constantly arguing with people online and they're saying the nastiest thing that they can think of to say to you, you're saying the nastiest thing that you can think of to say back, guess what? All of that stuff is still affecting you, even if the person you're talking to you don't know, you still get affected by the stuff that they say to you. Even if you're like, oh, I just let it all fly out my ear. It's like, yeah, but that's what you're establishing in that action is there are people who exist in the world who I hate and hate me. And those people deserve whatever I feel like they get. Like you have to take that and like, this is a thing that I do when I'm on social media. Like when I'm like scrolling and I see something that's like, oh, you're wrong and the thing you're saying is really bad. I've had to, because I've done this before. I've had to set up a thing in my brain. Okay, baby, we're almost done. I'm doing it right now. I have to set up a thing in my brain where I'm like, I am not even entering this conversation because when this person responds to whatever I say, they are going to respond with the worst thing that they can think of to say to me. And then I have to choose whether or not I want to take that, or if I want to swing back at them with the worst thing I can think to say to them. Then I'm in an argument with a stranger I don't care about at all. And that affects me. So I'm just like, I'm not even going to say a word to you. It doesn't matter that the sculpture that you're saying is a absolute testament to how much men love women was actually created by a woman. That doesn't matter. You aren't going to learn your lesson. You're not going to be like, oh, thank you for informing me that this was made by a woman. Now that I know this, I will carry the rest of my days with this knowledge of how women also can appreciate beauty. And no, he's just going to be like, who cares, you cuck? Like, it's not, nothing productive is going to happen, but it's just going to be me being affected by some random stranger on the internet. So try and look at the internet every time you respond to a person, especially someone you don't know. Try and think of them as a physical person standing in the room with you. Then think about how you would actually say something to this person. And then when they respond back to you, think about how you would respond to that person if they were standing in the room with you, not how you would respond to them on the internet. Because if I were to say, hey, random person, Steve, that painting is actually made by a woman, not by a man. So it's not this grand thing of men loving the beauty of women. It's just a person appreciating the beauty of another person. And then that person will respond to me, shut up, you stupid cuck. I wouldn't then turn around and start arguing with them about that. I'd be like, okay, dude, go fuck yourself. And I'd walk away. I wouldn't stand there and argue with them for hours and hours in a standing in my room like, no, you suck. I would just be like, all right, dude, whatever. And I'd walk away. Like you would not have a 20-hour conversation with a stranger about something where you're just insulting each other. Like you wouldn't do that in real life. So don't do it on the internet. It's not worth it. That is,
I got you, man.
yeah, that is a collection of experiences I have had over a long period of time being on the internet, especially in the social media version of the internet. Like I have actually been in these conversations to the point where I'm arguing with someone for hours about something so very pointless. Like, oh, I liked the Saiyans from Universe 6 in Dragon Ball Z, and then someone else being like, she's not gonna sleep with you, dude. And I'm like, then I am sitting here arguing with someone about a a fictional character that I like in a story, and it's silly and pointless.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. We have hit
So,
our limits here. Please go ahead.
Oh, I would say I found a really nice self-help book. It kind of goes based off your stuff a little bit, I guess, but I have like massive anxiety, like everybody else in the world right now. Just and that leads to depression, and it sometimes that depression can lead to like paranoia and stuff. You think people are like talking about you and blah blah blah. The book that I found that I really like, it's by a man named Mark Manson. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And dude, it has helped me out tremendously. I recommend everybody go read it. It's an older book. He's got a YouTube page too, which like that's kind of how I found him. But like, dude, there were days where my head's been just on fire, and like I feel overwhelmed by just everything going on between work and meeting deadlines and keeping people happy and blah 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 blah. Like it turns out like who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like not like selfishly make yourself happy and stuff, but like if you don't start with number one, like then nothing else matters. So take care of yourself. If you're suffer from anxiety like I do, like I know there's a lot of, definitely make sure you get help and talk to somebody and stuff. But like if you're interested, the book's really good. So, and I'm also reading The Hobbit too, and that's been nice. So
yeah.
Lady and I are about 100 pages away from finishing that. So between The Hobbit and The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, my reading list is pretty nice.
I love that concept because I definitely have. I started a little thing, and I'm gonna end this after this because we're almost at 2 hours. I heard this thing where
Not bad for having a couple of babies.
yeah, I picked a time, just a random time out of my head. I'm just like, because I work from home. I'm just like, here is this time. I'm just gonna stop whatever I'm doing at this time and just do a immediate self assessment. Like, do I have water? Have I eaten? Just like all of the basic stuff. Just to assess where I'm currently at. And it is another thing. This is a thing that I have that I don't know if I realized it during this process, and I don't know if I've ever said this out loud, but like when I'm doing like stuff for myself, I do it really fast. Like I'm always like trying to get whatever it is done so I can get back to whatever, something else that I need to do or something else that someone asked me to do. And like in this little like moment, I'm just like, I'm just going to sit and do whatever I need to do. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do it until I am ready to stop. And I feel like so much of life has this like timer on it. And you're just like, oh, well, if I'm taking 5 minutes here, then I need to like, hurry up and get this done so I can get back to what I'm doing. Or, I'm doing it on my lunch break. So I've only got an hour. I've got to get this done during this time frame and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this time I just like stop. If I'm drinking water, I'm like,
Yep.
I'll just slowly drink my water until I'm done drinking it. Not if I'm brushing my teeth, I'll just brush my teeth until I feel like my teeth are clean. If I'm
Yep.
washing my face, I will, wash my face until I feel like my face is clean and not just like trying to do it to get it done. And the
Dude, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the idea of just not thinking in that way has been one of the most refreshing things I've done for myself in a long time.
We're trained to be people pleasers, dude. So,
100%.
you want to know why I laughed?
Why?
So, as you were saying that, my mind went back to Death Note and when Light was eating the potato chip.
Eat a chip. That guy. Okie doke, man.
We did really well for having a couple babies.
Yeah.
You had 2 babies at one point.
I know, right?
So, game dads during the day. So, I want to just express my apologies. Speaking of being a people pleaser to our audience, sorry for the slow output on episodes. Finding time with young babies is very hard. So, we, I want to apologize for not being more consistent, but we, hopefully you enjoy them when we do get them out. So
Yeah. I don't want to say in a million years, but I definitely when we started this podcast, I definitely didn't imagine both of us to have toddlers at the same time. So any type of schedule we were even thinking about having is completely thrown out the window at this point. We're just trying to get together whenever we can. And
yeah.
so
I love that we started off with, I mean, we're over 2 years strong at this point.
Yeah.
We started off with Final Fantasy 16 spoiler cast, and now we're talking about Prince and babies. You know what I mean?
I say it every time, but I love this podcast because I love the way, like I've said this before, but I love the way that the AI like writes the titles for these. Because every time it'll suggest a title for me, and like it literally listens through all the audio and it just like picks something out of there to try and pick up and like use. And sometimes they're like right on the money, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is exactly what this episode should be called. SNES reminiscing or something like that. And then sometimes it's like, man, how many pirates are there who can pirate all the way into real life? And I'm like, oh yeah, we did talk about One Piece during this. Like it's all over the place, and it's always I'm gonna actually start saving the suggestions because I don't always use the suggestions. I'm gonna start saving them just because like I think like when you see some of the stuff that it suggests for us, I think it'll make you laugh just out of how random this podcast gets sometimes.
100%.
All right, man.
All right. Want to call it?
Yep, that'll be it. A whimmity wham wham wazzle, and I will see you.
I got
all
a new
next
one
time.
for you.
All right, go for it.
Oh, make it like a high, make a hiney ho.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
See you, buddy.
Peace.
Bye.